Right. Okay. So this is actually the fourth time I've tried this. My initial plan was to record my initial attempt and then and post that, and then post the attempt that I actually completed it. These scenarios. The problem, and I didn't really do that with the Baltisk scenario because I just did it in one go. It took 4.5 hours, so I'm going to be cutting that in half. But I did it in one go. The problem is that with Baltisk, or not Baltisk, but with this, I completed it the first time around. I think it took me around 3 to 4 hours. And then as I'm scrolling through the history, seeing who killed what, the surge protector connects to my computer trips, which immediately shuts the computer down, which corrupts the OBS recording because I didn't end it myself. So I try again. And that just didn't go well. That was bad. That was like it was embarrassingly bad. And then my third attempt encountered this weird bug where the game would freeze. Well, kind of freeze. I could still select units. I couldn't move the camera. The camera was frozen. I could select units. I could move the mouse, and it would highlight like buildings and whatnot. I could select a unit. I could not move the unit around. I could access the unit panel in the upper left-hand corner, but I couldn't actually. And I could grab units, but I couldn't place them on the map. And when I say a selected unit, only the little unit icon next to the mini-map would actually change. The unit that I actually had at the bottom of the screen, the information here would stay the same for the last unit I selected. So that was weird. Anyway, I did, I originally started with, I think, this deck. And then I ultimately decided to swap to this one. And I'm going to use this one, because this is the one I'm the most familiar with. I mean, sure, there might be better options, but I'm going to use this one. I will note that there are twice where I have found myself, well, I say twice, 3 times technically where I found myself wanting an AC-130 when I originally played it. Twice when I originally played it, and then I could think of a third time in hindsight. So I am kind of tempted to do this. At the same time, you have no long-range SAMs. And the other side does seem fairly fond of throwing fighters at you. So I would either have to use the STTs for man pads and LAVADs. Oh, and they throw helicopters at you as well. So yeah. I don't see that ending particularly well. I mean, I might be able to keep a constant combat air patrol of Raptors overhead, but I don't know. I could go with this one, although it doesn't have an AC-130. I do have SAMs in this one, but, well, I don't know. And I'd also like to note that I do not have, I I don't have STTs. I call them STTs instead of STT teams, because I'm pretty sure STT stands for Special Tactics Team. Which means if I called them STT teams, it'd be Special Tactics teams. And yes, in this one, I'm taking the Delta guys in their standoff loadout, expecting to use the pararescuemen if I need to clear buildings. I don't care if it's not an optimal loadout. I think Delta standoff is underrated. Everyone looks at flashbangs on Delta and just goes with that. You know, honestly, the only thing I would change with Delta standoff is just simply remove the Fletcher. I don't understand why they have that, but basically remove the Fletcher and give it a couple of maws, or heck, maybe even a javelin, like a maw and a javelin. Although if you did that, I would understand if you cranked the price up to 120 points. So. Although I do have AA troopers. So would that, I mean, that would help against the helicopters, but Also, I'm taking regular rangers. Huh. Anyway, I don't have an armored cav deck, and I don't have a an air, or not armored cav, armored SOCOM. I don't have an armored SOCOM deck, and I don't have an air SOCOM deck. I made a point not to make those decks because either like armored SOCOM is always so common, everyone thinks it's great, so I haven't made a deck like that. I probably should. And then air SOCOM is like the stereotypical wants to be cool guy but actually sucks deck, for lack of a better term. Severe lack of a better term, I'd like to point out. I wonder how many... I honestly wonder how many cav variations I can make. Because you've got elite cav, heavy cav. I could do a light cav. I mean, that's kind of air mobile. Or heavy air mobile. Would probably be like light cav. Anyway, I digress. I'm getting off topic. I need to just grab a deck and go. He says, immediately not grabbing a deck and going. Yeah, that's the one I used. Is that the one I used? I'm pretty sure that's the one I used. Yes, that is the one I used. Anyway, let's just do it. So I have made several observations in my attempts. Like I said, they throw aircraft at you, and they throw helicopters at you. So you need basically 2 layers of air defenses. And honestly, it's kind of like it's honestly kind of like it's kind of like the Baltisk operation. Well, in the Baltisk operation, they just kept throwing helicopters at you basically one at a time from the same direction. So if you just had a pair of MMLs that you kept supplied, you just didn't have to worry about the helicopters. That doth not apply here, because you don't have to worry about helicopters until you don't have to worry about helicopters or aircraft actually initially. First, you have a capture point here. I mean, you've got that capture point, and then you have that capture point. And then you've got to capture, I think it's like these, something over here and something over here. I found out you do not need to hold both capture points at the same time. You just need to have captured both of them. So in my second attempt, when I captured the one over here, and then the Russians captured it back, and then I captured the one over here, I instantly moved on to the third set of capture points. I didn't need to recapture that back, which is a bit of a pest because because every time you move on to a new set of capture points, a whole bunch of new things spawn. Yeah. The third set is this stadium and these two high ground sections, and then the last set is over here. And honestly, doing these three is probably going to take the most time because there's just a lot, and I mean a lot of armored vehicles that just trundle around this area, including a number of American vehicles, which is kind of weird. Is that supposed to represent captured equipment? It's not entirely clear. And of course, you know, you've got this area, which is familiar to me. Like, this starting zone is ingrained in my brain from self-service. The VDV units get dumped over here. You have to capture this area, side areas, and then you have to capture over here with what's his face coming from this direction, and then you ultimately move over here, and then you move over here if you still haven't accumulated enough supplies. But I'm not worried about that. What I am more worried about, however, is this mountain ridge. This area, this entire area, is crawling with infantry. And I do mean crawling. However, more importantly, when I say crawling, it also includes 4 Verba teams, which, as you might imagine, are a bit of a problem, particularly if you want to use air or drones. At the same time, occasionally there's some armor that comes trundling down this road, so you might want to stick some anti-tank teams in these buildings, I found. Pre-setting up air defense now, or at least before you take these 2 sections, would be wise. And so I'm probably going to do that in this patch of trees. I am, however, also going to grab artillery and set them up here, because I want to use artillery combined with drone spotting to kill the 4 Verba teams, so I can then just use a ton, or I could just then cycle these in to mop up all the infantry on the ground, and I don't have to worry about it. Particularly because if you want to use the the Apaches, they are still vulnerable to ground fire. Sure, it takes slightly longer to just keep cycling the drones in, but that's not that big of a deal. Also, the fact that the first recording didn't work out really, really, really sucks, because I now understand why cruise missile spam is a thing. I'm genuinely wondering. I have a couple decks with the Lancer, and I am genuinely wondering if I can rejigger them to free up 200 points to go from the ALCMs to the JASMs. Sure, the JASMs don't hit quite as hard as the ALCMs, but you get 24 JASMs compared to 8 ALCMs. Speaking of, when they talked about update 1.0.11 on the Patreon, one thing that they stated that they wanted to do was to remove the dependency on or not the dependency. They wanted basically to make what's the word I'm looking for? They basically wanted to make cruise and ballistic missile spam less prominent. So it'd be kind of interesting to see what they do. Personally, I'm gonna if I'm gonna be entirely honest, I would not at all be surprised to see the loadout for the 24 JASMs go up to about 1,000 points. I'm not entirely sold. Just to be entirely honest, I'm not completely sold on the usefulness of nuclear weapons. I'm not. Like, I get it. It's a very large bang. But it's also just really, 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 really expensive. Air defense here. And I'm just not sold on the sheer expense of it. Not when you consider that the average, like, okay, so a B-2 Spirit or a B-1B with a B-61 gravity bomb or a Tu-160 with a KH-102, all three of them have the same cost, 1,000 points. Well, the ordnance are 900 points. The base aircraft cost is only 100. That's a tenth. That's 10% of your total of your total point allocation.
Heavy transport here.
And you might be sitting there thinking, well, it's only 10%.
Logi here, send traffic.
I'd like to point out there's a lot of things you can do with 1,000 points. I mean, heck, for 1,000 points, at least if you could put it that many in your deck, you could get four longbow Apaches. Two longbow Apaches can easily eat a armored push. Four of them.
Let's grab them containers.
That might be just a touch excessive. Or
Last stop, everybody out.
not excessive. That the point I'm trying to get at is that for 1,000 points, you have a lot that you can pick up. And if I'm going to be entirely, completely honest, I'm not sold on I'm not sold on just having one boom. Now, I will concede that some people, I do see some people having a point when they talk about the disparity in the type of nuclear weapon. The U.S. only having access to nuclear freefall bombs, whereas Russia has a nuclear cruise missile. And you can argue contrary to this by basically pointing out that, well, yes, the U.S. has nuclear freefall bombs, only has nuclear freefall bombs, but the U.S. has 2 nuclear delivery systems, and Russia only has 1. If I'm going to be entirely honest, one thing I kind of want to see, and if they ever add the Tu-95, like the M3M variant, I kind of want to see a loadout with a KH-102 cruise missile.
Roger, we're Oscar Mike.
But at the same time, what I want them to do is to take the B-52, finagle the loadout a little bit, and I'm not sure how they do this, because it seemed like the upper cost limit on a unit is 1,000 points. You can't have a unit greater than 1,000 points. At least that's the idea that I get. And the B-52 has two separate customization options: the wing pylons and the bay. So one thing that I would be interested to see them do, or at least them try, is to give the B-52 a nuclear-tipped air-launched cruise missile. The idea here is that you either have bombers that are fast or stealthy are given the freefall bombs, but the ones that are slow are given the cruise missiles. That's the basic idea. Now, whether or not the idea is actually going to work is an entirely different matter. But that's the basic idea. So, at least that's the way I think I'd tackle it, if it were up to me. Granted, I don't know how you'd finagle the loadout on the B-52. Presumably, honestly, the question is how limited is the loadout options, and how, for lack of a better term, how hardwired are the different loadout options. For example, if I have, because one thing that I've always one thing that I've always wanted to see is one thing I've always wanted to see is is the ability to take stealth aircraft like the F-35 and have an option to either use their stealthy configuration and have a relatively small weapons load, or go with a non-stealthy configuration where you can actually utilize their external hardpoints. The number of hardpoints on an F-35A or C doubles if you ensue stealth and decide to use external ordnance carriage. There's 6 internal hardpoints and 6 external hardpoints, is what I'm getting at. The F-35B, the Marine Corps variant, only, has 4. So,
Transport engaged in combat.
oh, you're fine. And there's a mortar up there. There's also a Verba team up there, so that complicates things. This is why I want to whip out the drones. Speaking of, Grab a global
Moving
hawk.
to new grid. Heavy transport ready.
And that right there is my target. Where's the global hawk?
We're watching war on TV over here.
Yes, you are.
No party without Arnie. Direct fire engagement.
Now watch as they move. This, if I'm going to be entirely honest, I'm not convinced on drones being a, I'm not convinced on drones being a... Oh, that artillery shell made a turn. I'm not convinced on drones being a good... consistent, that's what I'm looking for. I'm not convinced on drones being a consistent method of, lasing. Of target designation. Because... Well, I mean, they aren't.
Cyber team, at your orders, sir. Artillery ready to fire, sir. Engaging targets with direct fire.
Although, if I can take out this Verba team in particular, I can more easily use helicopters over here. There's three more. There's one over here, and then one over here. Oh, and they're no longer... Oh, wait, no. Nope, there they are. Ooh! Well, they just had a bad day. And they just had a worse day. Well, at least they don't have to worry about it anymore.
Call my helo fat again.
Oh, calm down.
Here.
Chinook, at your command.
You can go back to base. You're no longer needed. It's because there's a house in the way. I have noticed that occasionally some of the infantry up here will actually no,
Let's hide in that building.
that some of the infantry will actually sure, I'll let them gun these guys down a while. But what I'm saying is that I have noticed that sometimes the infantry will engage, like, these guys will come down the mountain and try and engage these guys. So, I put the snipers there to make that even harder. Crunch. Hang on, does that have the armor package? Oh, it does have the armor package, okay. And it's got the 57 with the Atatkas. BTRZD. Also, annoyingly enough, you are incapable of using artillery or cruise missiles outside of your play box.
Blackhawk. Full power.
This is a problem
Blackhawk ready. Roger Wilco. Flight
because
plan
the enemy is perfectly capable of shooting, at least in a direct fire sense, at you. Now, to be fair, as you just saw, you are capable of shooting in a direct fire sense at them. But still. Oh, that mortar needs to go.
Ready to rain down death. Target marked. Direct fire.
Black Hawk is mission ready. Boots on the ground. New flight plan received. Get out! Go, go, go! The Black Hawk is in the air. Black Hawk at your command.
Okay, well, that's a problem. Well, I say it's a problem. It's unfortunate. It's not actually a problem. It's just unfortunate and mildly annoying. They're about to get their comeuppance. Also, I note that units cannot resupply and shoot at the same time, which I find kind of interesting. Also, I note that smoke is not going to be of much use when you're moving. But yes, 2 more Verba teams.
Visual feed is up. Drone is on its way.
The problem is I don't know exactly where to put the drones to keep them constantly spotted.
Mobile artillery standing by. Providing direct fire.
And that drone just left laser range. Hopefully it'll circle back around and reacquire before the artillery starts shooting. Huh, that actually happened. Well, they're not moving anymore.
Artillery available, sir.
And yes, I dropped a Chinook's load worth of supplies down there because
Give me a target.
that is going to be entirely necessary. You don't have line of sight because of the ridge.
On the move.
No.
Stealth mode.
I said this last time.
This is our new hiding place.
The problem is that to dismiss certain things, there's certain key presses. So like, if I have a unit selected,
Mobile artillery reporting in.
I hit left mouse button to basically deselect that. But if I have a weapon system selected,
Artillery ready. Send mission.
I have to hit right mouse button to deselect it. And it's all very confusing. Well, I say it's very confusing. It's something I have not gotten used to. Okay, then.
be revealed.
Yeah, well, can you reveal them in the face? Oi. See, I did it again.
Operator here.
Because I get confused about what button is initiate and what button is dismiss. I keep doing things like that.
Eye in the sky. Solid copy.
And then have you move closer.
Artillery at your command, sir. Target marked. Direct fire.
Honestly, I'm wondering if that should be indirect fire. I think it should be indirect fire. Oh, there's the other Verba team. The final Verba team.
We got a malfunction. The drone must have been hit.
Okay, well, we don't have to worry about that anymore.
No party without Artie.
This is all going disturbingly well, considering the number of other troubles I've had with this scenario.
Thermals activated.
Well, I say disturbingly well. Disconcertingly well? Maybe that's the word I'm looking for.
Mobile artillery reporting in. Engaging targets with direct fire.
That one in particular, slippery, because they have a nasty habit of going down the other side of the ridge, and thus breaking line of sight. Like that.
Artillery available, sir.
And you see, this
Roger.
is the, that's the problem when I, accidentally use the wrong key. Or I get confused about the controls.
Signal clear. Receiving optical feed.
I can at least use these over here with less
Wilco.
of a, oh, they've been spotted again. Good.
Ready to rain down death.
Now I think they're headed this way.
Providing direct fire.
Waypoint.
I'm right. They are heading roughly this way. And then they're going in the wrong direction again. I hope the artillery shells can still track. Oh, they're heading in the right direction now. I think they're dead.
Drone is online.
I'm not sure if they're dead, but I think... Okay, now I know they're dead. Because 2 skull icons popped up, so I'm pretty sure they're dead. Now the upside means that there's basically nothing
Drone is RTB.
that can challenge... There's nothing that can challenge the drones now. So, that's good. Also, I might have dumped too many supplies for the artillery to deal with. Typhoons? You guys threw BM3K, or... You guys threw BRM3s. What makes you think Typhoons are gonna... Well, I mean, if they're feeling particularly suicidal today, I'm not going to, stop them. What's that old adage? Never interrupt an enemy that's currently making a mistake, or something to that effect? Oh yeah, and then you see that what we're gonna have to deal with. These B-10s, B-11s. The B-11 is the 30mm cannon armed version with the Cornets. I can't remember if they're Cornets or Cornet M's. I think that might be Cornet M's. The B-15 is the one with the 57 millimeter. And the attack, because something tells me, and this might be from the February 2024 beta, but something tells me that originally they came with the 57 millimeter came with the Cornets, but I don't know.
Copy. Trajectory updated. Drone is online. Let's bring the drone back home.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's just sad that they carry this much ammunition. If I had, like, this is in a situation where I'm seriously wanting, like, 4 Reapers. If I were to make a deck... Actually, I've been thinking, if I were to make a deck specifically to do this operation, it would probably be an Armored SOCOM deck. And it would almost certainly have 4 Reapers, an AC-130, long-range artillery, and a lot of infantry. Specifically for
We're watching war on TV over here.
this. Like, I mean, I can use the drones here. If I take out the big SAMs, there's a big SAM that parks itself right over here, and one over here. And then later, if you take out, because when you move on to the third set of capture points, if you take out the 2 SAMs, a third SAM will occasionally come up and park itself here. You take those out, you basically have the run of this place with drones. So, you know, four Reapers loaded with 8 Hellfires each. That could do a lot of not nice things to everything on the ground. I mean, sure, it's not exactly going to be super effective against tanks, but it's still going to be fun. The problem with doing that over here, though, is aside from having these, there's like 4 or 6 man-pads teams, or man-pad, yeah, I believe the proper term would be man-pads teams, in here. It's just not fun.
New grid
And you have to clear them all out.
Good copy.
And they're garrisoned, so they're not exactly something you could just sneeze at with a cruise missile from the B-1B and remove. You need 2.
Eye in the sky.
Of course, that also obviously makes helicopter operation more difficult.
Operator here. Send mission.
In the Baltisk operation, you didn't really have man-pads, from if memory serves. I mean, I think you had a few, but it was mostly systems like Shilka, whichever, and Tunguska that you primarily had to worry about.
Roger. Leaving the AO.
One thing I do want to do, however, is I want to take Oh, see? See, that's what I was saying about them attacking. That's why I put the snipers there. One thing I do want to do is, I want to take Stinger teams and I want to put them in these two buildings. Because they're helicopters. And they're going to start throwing helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft at you pretty regularly once you capture these 2 points and you move on to the urban area. The helicopters are almost always going to come down this street right here. So if you have Stinger teams in these buildings, and later in these buildings, once you capture these 2 initial points, you're easily going to be able to knock them out. When you ultimately move on over here, hang on, I'm trying to see if I can reset the ground texture, which is being just a touch weird. I found that if you zoom in on the ground, sometimes it works. Of course, you know, like with children and puppies, once you try and show someone the new trick, it doesn't actually work. Anyway, once you do capture these 3 points, and you now have to capture, I think it's over here. I can't really tell because of the texture weirdness. They start coming at you. Yeah, that's the crossroads. From like over here. But luckily there's a couple of buildings you can place some manpads teams in. So it's no big deal. And the jets will just come at you, but then again, you don't really need to worry about positioning as much. Oh, the texture finally fixed itself. You don't really need to worry about, yeah, there's buildings over here. But you don't really need to worry about positioning nearly as much with the jets, because Big Sams will do Big Sam things. So. And you do not want to fly helicopters in here. I have done that. It does not end well. So once you are able to get a toehold in this area, which isn't going to be hard, I would recommend moving your air defense up. Because, well, with this deck anyway, because you have the Pack 3s, and they're pretty short-ranged, all things considered, then you're going to want your air defense very close to what you want to protect. You don't really have area air defense the same way you might with the Pack 2s or the S-300s. You have basically point-ish high med air defense. And the only other air defense option I have would be the M-Shored, which I have brought the Hellfires with. Because I've heard a lot of people saying a lot of good things about that. Of course, Hellfires aren't exactly super useful against helicopters. I do have the PVADs, which is my only other alternative. Luckily, however, I do have 4 of these, and these are very useful. I just don't have any aircraft to throw them out the back of. So, also, I think the Global Hawk. I'm sorry, that is such an unamused check. Well, they're almost certainly going to start shooting at these vehicles, which is probably going to result in a majority of their ammunition expenditure.
Thermals activated. They cannot hide.
And there goes basically all the Hellfires. The Griffins are much smaller. You can carry twice as many of them, but they do not do nearly as much damage.
Playtime's over. Drone is RTB.
I will, however, grab a couple of longbows and just park them right there. Now, the longbows will absolutely eat these things. Oh wow, that really is a bog standard BTR-80 with a 14.5mm machine gun turret. Okay. Huh. So what I'm probably going to want to do is I'm going to want to basically kill both of these eventually.
Longbow is combat ready.
Actually, I'll do that right now. And then I'm going to want to basically get the sniper teams back out. I have plans for them. And
Target lock. Engaging.
I have plans for them. And it doesn't involve them staying there the entire time. I would like to basically put these guys in AMPVs and drive them up to maybe these buildings. So.
Lying there now.
Now that I've cleared that out, I'm going to grab an ISV. And I'm going to take it all the way over there.
Copy. Relocating.
And they shouldn't, haha, get shot at.
Drone is en route. Affirmative.
Hunters of gunmen here.
That's perfectly within range, it's just they're in a different building. Huh. Because, particularly once I take these 2 points, and here's the thing. This scenario seems really to open up once you take the points in the town and you have these 3 points open. Because that's when the bulk, for lack of a better term, of the scenario really opens up. So
5 by 5.
also,
New trajectory set.
if I tell them to attack, are they actually going to attack? I've noticed that it seems that units that are not
Drone is leaving
offensive in the same way like the attack helicopters are, do not register an attack command, even if they're armed, like these drones are. Or I remember doing testing with the Harvest Hawk C-130 in the Marine Corps specialization. When I did my Airborne Marines deck, my original concept was that you had a pair of those and a C-17, and you could use those as like low altitude for things like low altitude resupply.
Snipers ready. Rendezvous with extraction team.
And that was the idea. Well, I tested it on one of the Steam firing range maps. It did not work. It almost seemed like they engaged targets at random. And when I say they engaged targets at random, I don't mean they picked a target at random. I mean, like, they engaged... There was some random decision as to whether or not to engage. I even tried lasing a target because I know the Hellfires are laser guided, and that didn't seem to work half the time. I don't understand what was up with it, but I don't know. I mean, I think it'd be pretty. I think it'd be pretty awesome. And I understand if C-130 can't see things on the ground, but I think it'd be pretty neat if you had a sort of poor man's AC-130 that you could use. The idea being like, what if you took
Roger.
because the idea was like, if you want to resupply airborne forces, the gunship, or not the gunships, the Harvest Hawks would go in at low altitude where hopefully there wouldn't be a lot of high altitude, where they wouldn't have to worry about high altitude SAMs. They'd still have to worry about things like manpads, but manpads don't hit as hard. And ideally, you probably want to clear things out anyway. But they could also attack targets on their way in and out, because you know you fairly expect things like the airborne forces to maybe not always be surrounded, but particularly if you want to aggressively airdrop them. So that was just my line of thinking, and that didn't really seem to work.
Let's bring the drone back home. My gaze pierces cloud and shadow.
Oh, stop sounding so mystic.
Waypoint updated.
So, what I suspect I'm going to want to do is... Now, what I've generally done is I've taken two armored groups, and I basically had them attack over here and over here at the same time. I'm actually thinking I probably don't want to do that. What I probably want to do is form up a single group.
Operator here. Send mission. The drone seems damaged. We must bring it back.
Okay, remember that entire line of buildings.
We're watching war on TV over here. Roger. Leaving the AO.
But what I'm getting at is maybe only having one group over here, which would then allow me to quasi-secure this area, so I can put AT teams in here, and then hopefully get Manpads teams over here, which I can try and deploy with helicopters, but more than likely I'm probably going to have to use ISVs, which, I mean, isn't gonna be a bad thing necessarily. I'm just saying that because,
Changing grid.
like I said, there's like 6 manpad teams in here, and as we briefly saw, there's a lot of infantry in this line of buildings. Unfortunately, I can't just grab the Lancer and have them just level that entire collection of buildings right out the gate. I mean, it would be fun if I could, but unfortunately I can't.
Eye in the sky.
Also, when
Drone is online.
don't fly too close. I don't want you to attract manpads again.
Visual feed is up.
When the when the and I honestly think that's everything
New
cleared
trajectory
out.
set.
But when the what's the term I'm looking for? Actually, you know, I completely lost the thread.
Mission's
Yeah.
over. Leaving the hangar.
Oh, right. Now I remember. When you capture these, and this becomes the new play area, there is a obscene amount of BT-3Fs just parked behind all of these buildings. It's nuts. I mean, I guess,
All things shall
like,
be revealed.
I don't understand it. There's just so many. So, now that this area has been completely cleared of hostiles, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a trio of Seps. I'm going to move the Seps up there.
Driver, move out. Lead me, follow me, or get
I say Seps,
right.
and the first thing I think of is sepsis,
Good copy. Next waypoint received. Moving
which
there
is maybe not the thing you want to associate with
now. Pedal to the
combat.
moving there now. Roger. Moving out.
And I can literally just use an ISV to capture the points. Although maybe I'll use an armored Humvee because it's tougher. The Humvee ain't armored. Oh yeah, I remember. I didn't armor the Humvee because I wanted it to be fast. Because I didn't think that I would need something with speed. Or that I didn't think I would need something with armor. Because the only reason why I have the Humvees and the ISVs in this deck is just to move troops around. So, by that logic, going with an ISV would actually be better. Just look at that wall of armor.
We're on the move. Already there. Pedal to the metal. Good copy. Next waypoint received. Moving there now.
Now, I hope that means that they split the Stinger... Okay, good. They did split the Stinger teams evenly. Because I want to put them, the anti-tank teams in here, and then see if I can't loop the Stinger teams around in here. And I want to do that, preferably, soon.
Longbow here.
Because my plan is basically to grab all of this armor and then ram it against the, against this.
Someone asked for a ride?
I also want to grab the,
My eye sees all.
I also want to grab the Lancer. So there's this section of buildings, which I'm probably just going to dump, maybe... Well, I mean, there's 6 buildings there, so I could probably dump 6 of the 12 cruise missiles.
Roger, flying there.
Our drone is damaged. Multiple malfunctions.
Okay. Well, that told me what I need to know.
B1, mission ready.
And I want you flying back here.
Proceeding as frag.
I mean, it sucks the drone got shot down, but it told me what I needed to know. So this building, these two, and I believe that one as well. Alright, well this ought to be interesting. Right, so pause it the instant that that play area becomes available. And then... I think there was something over there.
Bombs are ready. Scout team at your command. Weapons team ready.
And then have them move up.
Personal carrier ready.
Just go back home.
Solid copy. Heading back to FOB. B1 copies. Send traffic.
Well, I killed some things. Anything else in there, I have a nagging suspicion is not happy.
Heavy cap ready to rumble. Everybody out. Someone call for a cab? Get your asses out of my vehicle. Troop transport reporting in. Roger. Moving to next waypoint. Heavy cavalry ready for action. Driving to coordinates.
Longbow standing by.
I'm actually going to grab them and move them up. The artillery is going to need to be moved up as well. They're going to be of limited use back there.
Mobile artillery standing by. We're on the move.
So I'm going to put them in there. Oh joy.
Longbow copy.
Alright, back up out of manpad's range. Just try and let the armor do their job. Of course, out of manpad's range also means out of Hellfire range. So, next
Heavy armor is ready to rumble.
is basically that.
Tank status is red. One more hit like that and we're done. Gunner, take them out.
I preferably want these vehicles dead.
Our tank got hit. We're still operational.
Oh, yes, and there's a couple of artillery pieces over here. Somewhere. I can't remember exactly where.
Troop transport, standing by. Roger, we're Oscar Mike. Those motherfuckers scratched our paint job. Abrams here. We're in combat. Fire director here. We're in combat.
I am aware. Okay, so I got these guys deployed, which is what I wanted to do. Now, the next thing I need to do is I'm going to go to air. I'm going to grab an F-15. I'm going to send that in.
New bearing set.
And when it comes in, like it has, I'm going to pack up the SAMs and I'm going to move them somewhere. Maybe here. Well, I preferably want to move them closer. I can move them here. I'll probably just move them around here somewhere. Come on, thank you.
Fly truck ready to transport. Anti-aircraft standing by. Copy. Relocating.
You're driving through water. Okay. I did not know vehicles could do that. Yep, and that's the reason why I called in the F-15. Because I knew, knowing my luck, the moment I grab a,
Eagle here. Send mission. Over. Master arm on. Engaging.
the moment I grab a, an aircraft, and I'm gonna grab a second one, they're going to do that.
Someone called for a cab? Everyone, dismount! Armored transport, standing by. All trench monkeys, dismount! New course set.
Obviously, and of course, because they have man pads, this is why you have the second Eagle.
Personal carrier ready. Troop transport ready.
Now, what I need to do, and I'm not sure if doing this with a helicopter is a particularly smart idea. I need to grab this.
Ain't nothing
Yep, and that's why I put the Manpads teams there. Surprise! Welcome to your bad day. Although they already managed to chew up one of the Manpads teams.
Roger. We're on the move.
I can't do that, not yet. I don't have enough points. Oh, there's a Manpads team.
One more hit and our vehicle's done!
What on earth are you firing? Cruise missiles? Oh no, you're firing anti-radiation missiles. You're going after the PVADs. Okay. What's up with the weird sci-fi whispering?
Vehicle's down here! Someone asked for a ride? Solid copy. Engage and destroy.
Just kill them. New plan.
We're engaging.
Kill that.
Smoke screen. Roger. Engaging.
Your artillery's over there.
Vehicle has been hit. Need repairs. Bradley under fire. Send your orders.
Oh, they don't have any more tanks left. It's just 3 of the M-Shorads and the other ones.
Backwards.
Now, are the SAM teams finally in position?
Anti-aircraft here.
Oh, good grief.
The higher they fly, the further they fall. Already there. Air defense, standing by. Air defense here. We're combat ready. Logistics ready.
Okay.
Armored transport ready.
Now there's a Manpads team in there, isn't there? And the B1 isn't back.
Eagle standing by. Cargo truck ready.
Longbow reporting in. New heading set.
Bradley, ready for combat. Moving out. Mobile artillery ready.
Of course, because there's a manpads team in literally this building, I can't use the helicopters to remove the artillery.
Like a rocket sled on rail.
Like I would like to do. And the Lancer is not back yet, which is a bit of a pest.
Brad here. Go ahead. Roger. Moving out.
Oh, I parked them right next to the artillery.
Pedal to the metal.
What are they shooting at? Are they trying to shoot at the helicopters?
Longbow. Roger Wilco. Flight plan confirmed.
At least I think there's a manpads team in there. I know there's a anti-tank team. AT team.
Need supplies?
Dump that and top them off.
We're hit! We're hit!
There is indeed a manpads team. Joy.
Longbow at your command.
Artillery ready to fire, sir. Direct fire engagement.
Longbow awaiting mission. Heading there.
Actually, resupply off of that
Maximum
point.
power.
Oh, they're targeting the air defense now.
Cargo truck ready. Logi here, send traffic.
Of course, the moment I move the air defenses, you know an enemy aircraft is going to show up. That's just how these things work.
Troop transport reporting in.
So I don't honestly know what other options I have. Short of... Yep. I knew it. I knew it. Alright, well, they're dead. Unfortunately, don't know if that Verba team is still alive.
That's a firm.
Let's bundle out. Time to fingerprint that load. Vehicle hit! Holy shit, that was close! Air defense in combat! Send your order!
Go over here.
Vehicle status red! Situation
Before that happens.
Longbow ready for combat.
The problem is that there is still a crap ton of, there's still a crap ton of, there's still a crap ton of manpads in the area.
Anti-aircraft here, at your command.
Oh, now that's where they're shelling.
Armored transport engaged in combat! Don't stay here, drive! Anti-aircraft here, we're in combat! Unloading! Radar turned on, looking for airplanes.
Good grief, how long is it going to take that B-1B to...
Logistics ready.
Oh, come on.
Fly truck ready to transport. Hey, check out this rooster cruiser they gave me. On the road again. Bradley fighting vehicle reporting in. Good copy. Next waypoint received.
Thank you.
Fly truck ready to transport.
With all due respect, where is that B-1B? Oh, that's not good.
Need supplies? We're the AA team.
Finally.
Longbow is combat ready. Flying to coordinates.
Flight plan updated.
Why are they using MTVs? And now I need to figure out where the other three are going to go. Well, I'm just going to put them there, and then I'm going to put it there. Because I know there's infantry in those buildings. Ah.
Supersonic ground pounder here. Let's hit mark one. Roger, RTB. Fuck, I'm hit.
Longbow waiting mission. Heading there.
Yep.
Eagle copies. Going hot.
Oh, I don't have the other F-15 back. That's a pain.
Longbow here.
Can you kill that? You don't have line of sight.
Logi here, send traffic. Rolling on double nickel. Oh fuck! The right wing has more holes than the Swiss cheese. Logistics ready. Armored transport reporting in. Anti-aircraft here, at your command. Moving there now.
Go over there and repair.
No party without Hardy.
Longbow at your command.
Huh. I need to move those guys over.
Thermals activated. They cannot hide. Drone is on its way.
I need you closer over here. There's still at least 2, probably 3 man pads in here. Well, one of the pager batteries are back. Oh, look, there are in fact 3. Okay. Also, there's just a crap ton of bad guys in there. Cool. It's a shame I don't have that Lancer. I just put like 5 cruise missiles onto that point and then another 2 over there. Mark that. The drone's about to get shot down. There's nothing I can do about that.
We got multiple malfunctions. The drone got hit.
But anyway, is the idiot coming from over there?
Roger, we're off
Oh,
your
good
mic.
grief, the idiot's coming from over there.
Pedal to the metal.
This is probably the single worst place spawn point I have encountered. If it's, oh, it would be so much better if it was over here. Also, I don't have air coverage, like, at all. So, you need to hurry up.
Longbow.
Mobile artillery reporting in. Providing direct fire. Cargo truck ready.
well, at least we've got some of the armor back. Although right now what I am most interested in is that, for more air coverage. And,
Air defense at your disposal, sir. Good copy. Next waypoint received. Artillery at your command, sir. Engaging
just
target
keep
with
shelling it.
fire.
Oh, it just changed shape.
Eagle, mission ready. Target lock.
Sick 'em.
I got a smoking engine. Not good.
So much for your vaunted 5th gen.
Kerosene and noise converter engaged.
Oh! The game just isn't gonna let me have air defense, is it? Let's try this yet again. How many how many Patriots have I gone through at this point? Where's that Lancer? I would love to cruise missile this building. And then maybe jump 1 or 2 cruise missiles over there as well. And then call the drones in. Actually, for that matter, can I grab a Chinook? Fully loaded with all the goodies. And send it right there.
Hey, check out this rooster cruiser they gave me. Ain't nothing gonna get in our way. We're the finger of God. Already there.
Now,
Troop transport ready.
I realize I'm being rather conservative, which may not honestly be what is called for.
Chinook is mission ready. Emergency unload.
Longbow reporting in.
Grab another helicopter.
Chinook. Drop zone received. Flying out.
Well, the shore ads are in decent nick.
Fast landing assistance. What can I do
In
for
fact, I'm going to take them,
you? Roger.
and I'm going to
Moving
park
next
them right
waypoint.
there. Okay, well, I didn't want it to blow up, but...
Logistics ready. Friendly fighting vehicle, at your orders. Need supplies? 10-4, we're moving.
And still no Lancer. Okay. Oh, what is it now? A MiG-35. Well, that's one less thing to worry about. One downside of this configuration
Friendly fighting vehicle, at your command, sir.
is that one downside of the configuration for the Amshorets is that they do not have
Reporting in. Copy. Relocating.
they don't have any ability to engage fixed-wing aircraft.
Ready to transport. Mash your motor, we gotta go! Moving out. Air defense here, we're combat ready.
Now let's see if I can actually have air defense.
Roger, we're on the move. Friendly fighting vehicle, standing by. Pedal to the metal.
Not a war crime. They weren't in a parachute.
Longbow copy. Full power.
Logi here, send
What are you doing?
truck damage, requesting maintenance. Popping smoke.
Would you be so kind as to use those javelins of yours? Thank you.
Good copy. Next waypoint received. Anti-aircraft here.
Cool. I'm gonna grab the Lancer.
Line of coordinates. Roger. Turning to new heading. Fast landing assistance. What can I do for you? Moving there now.
What are you What are you doing over there? Go over here.
Bomb run confirmed.
Well, those vehicles are about to explode. This is why we need the Patriots.
Anti-aircraft here. At your command. Already there.
Where is the truck?
Logistics ready.
Hop up. Oh, here they come. Right. Where's the Lancer?
B1, standing by for target. Solid copy. RTB.